Yeah, big selection this week. Kyle Flanagan gets his first shot in the Bulldogs, number 7 jersey. Great opportunity for him. Wish him all the very best. The players there reacting to our comments last night on NRL 360. Interesting comments, I thought. Listen, again, I hope he does really well. He's got a great opportunity. I hope he takes it with 2 hands. But as I said last night, I question the timing of it. Where are we with this?
I think, Braith, we all agree with what the players have said in support of Kyle Flanagan.
Yes.
And it's not about the opportunity, it's not about any of that. It's about the fact that he's been given a very limited preparation. In fact, I go as far to say hardly any preparation to go out and do the best job and do the job that's required of him. The issue is not whether he's been picked to play first grade. The issue is he's done no time in training in this position. And to me, that means I don't see how he hasn't been set up to fail because of that.
Kenny, I'm not so sure about that. It's a really awkward situation, the Flanagan position at the Bulldogs, in that Phil Gould, Trent Barrett and Kyle Flanagan are all in the Wayne Beavers stable. They're all with the one management. And if they could done this earlier, and I'm sure...
Done what earlier?
Done what?
Bring Flanagan into the side.
Well, they could have.
This is the problem, Buzz.
Yeah, look, I, for the life of me, can't understand this comp's 4 weeks old and they've had 3 halfbacks.
Well, when's the right... But how long do you wait? I mean, when's the right time? Everyone's been saying he deserves an opportunity. He started with Jake Averillo. It hasn't worked. They've scored no points.
But you can't just look at
Brendan Wakeham. Again, they scored no points. So everyone's sitting back going, when are you going to Kyle Flanagan go? Give him a go.
If that's the case, then why hasn't he done any training with the team?
Well, he's trained with them this week.
That's where
he's been around the squad all pre-season.
He's done nothing with the squad.
He hasn't trained one session with him in the pre-season in the halves. That's the mail we've got.
Well,
they also picked a centre to play in the halves position over him and didn't give him the whole pre-season to train with a 5'8", who he is a genuine number 7. And then you bring him in against a team that are $1.10. The Panthers are $1.10 to beat them.
Yeah.
But you don't.
Well, when do you want to bring him in?
They got beat by 40 last week. You can't wait 2 weeks as pressure builds at Canterbury.
Well, you'd hope so.
Are they going to stick with him?
Well, the track record says no.
But I'm assuming you've spoken to Canterbury today. Are they going to stick with him?
The ball's in his court. If he plays well, they'll stick with him.
They've thrown him a hospital pass.
Well, how have they thrown him a hospital pass? He's a 23-year-old kid who's paid $500,000 a year.
Doesn't matter what he's paid. What's he going to be worth after? If he goes out and fails this weekend, what's he worth?
Well, at the moment, he's got no future in the NRL anyway. So at least he's got now...
But why has he got no future?
Because he's not getting a run.
Exactly.
At least now he's getting a run. He's got the chance...
the best team in the competition.
Well, yeah, it's a great... I agree with him. It's a great opportunity. If he stands up this week...
Do you think he will?
I don't know.
Will they win this week?
I don't think they'll win, but maybe he just has to do his job and play well.
Do you think they'll go close to winning this week?
Well, probably not, but they've had
So what happens after that?
Well, hopefully he sticks with him.
But gentlemen...
That's hilarious, really. That's hilarious.
Geez, you two are revved up.
What do you want? What do you want? Do you want him to sit in reserve grade for the rest of the year?
Played in the halves for nearly 300 games. I know what it's like. You've got to build confidence and belief in your players. You've got to cuddle your halves. You've got to look after your halves. Mate, they've put a centre in front of him. They've put Wakeham in front of him. They haven't trialled him next to Burton in the trials at all. They've made him feel like this. The kid was crying last year in press conferences, and they throw him in against the best team in the competition by a long way and say, do your best. I think it's wrong. I hope he kills it, but Brady.
Well, so do I.
But I've been there, mate. I've lived it, and I don't like it. Simple as that.
I'll tell you what I like. I like being a spectator when there's a major flare-up on the show, because I'm normally
Let's judge him next week. Let's talk about it next week and see where it's at.
Yeah, OK.
He might play out of his skin. They might win the game.
Exactly. Yeah, I hope I'm wrong.
But
I hope I'm wrong.
You know they haven't done this for Kyle Flanagan. They've done this for Matt Burton, because Matt Burton's the one hope of the side. Matt Burton can't play his football, as Mick Ennis said last week, with all the fifth tackle kicking. He's not running like he was at Penrith. And Kyle will no doubt take it. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, but they put Burton in this side at the start of the year who hasn't played in the halves for a couple of seasons next to a guy who is not a half. So this is my point. Kyle Flanagan is a kicker. He's a game organiser. He would have taken pressure off Burton from round one if they had him play that.
What happened last year, how they gave him the one game against Manly, then dropped him, they were flogged by 50-odd, was a disgrace. To pick one kid out, a half-back, was a disgrace. And the important thing is, he needs to be given time. Not the next 2 tough games. He needs to be given 6 weeks.
But if you're saying he needs to be given 6 weeks, why has he not been given, before this week, one training session at halfback next to the guy who's got to play?
Because they obviously regarded him, and incorrectly, as the number 3 halfback at the club.
Who's number 4?
Oh,
Well, they'll go back to number 1, won't they?
All right, so is the pressure on Barrett? He's had 3 halves in the first
Well, of course it
4
is.
weeks.
And that's another reason Trent Barrett's rolling the dice, because his career's on the line here. I mean, if they keep going the way they are, Trent Barrett won't be their coach at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So he's got to find a way to turn it around. And you can't keep... He's persistent with two halfbacks in the first 4 weeks. They scored, what, 24 points or something?
But why can't Trent
24.
Barrett, who's a specialist half and was one of the
Well, he
best
is
halves
now.
of his era, why can't he get the best out of a half?
you know,
That's a good
we all
question, I don't
gave,
know.
or I certainly gave, Barrett a lot of credit for the development of young Cleary at Penrith a few years back when he was there.
Talk to Dalicher Evans about him. He raves about him. So it's not as if he can't work
Yeah,
with
but
halves.
mate, he's nearly out of time, Brady. I don't know.
Baz?
Yeah, of course he's nearly out of
Yeah.
time. He's got
No,
to be nearly
I
out
agree
of
with
time.
you.
This
I
is
agree
like,
with you.
Kenny, and you go on about these rule changes, how they'll make a rule change and they won't stick to them. They get impatient, they're worried about public perception and all this sort of thing. Trent Barrett seems to worry, oh, that halfback's not working, I'll try another one, that half's not working. He's got to stick solid with this kid for at
has to,
least
Buzz.
6 weeks.
Well, in his favour is the fact that the game has probably slowed down a little bit, and that suits Flanagan's game more than it did last year, when there was a lot of unplanned football. The structure was out of the game a little bit more last year because of the speed of the game and the 6 against light. This year, it's returned somewhat back to that, not all the way, but certainly that'll help Flanagan.
What about these chances, Flanagan, of going to Super League? There's been rumours around about Kyle.
Zero.
No, zero, not happening.
Well, he's on big money at Canterbury. He's not going to get anywhere near that money. I asked his father the other day, I rang his father because I couldn't get hold of Kyle. I said, is he going to England? There's a rumour. He said, not a chance. You can't walk out on the money he's in to take less in England. You can't do it.
Could this be a cynical move to try and push him to England? Picking him this week,
Well,
this
Picking him
week's
this
game?
week, I think
Against
isn't that
the-
looking a bit deeply into it, Kenny? I think he's just picked him because they're not winning and they're not scoring points. And maybe he complements Burton better than anyone else. So maybe Trent's just a stubborn bloke who's taken him 4 weeks to realise he's been getting it wrong.
You just said that maybe he thinks he compliments Burton. Why now?
I don't... Well, Braith, I don't know the answer to that question.
Maybe he's watched tapes of second grade. And maybe he's realised from what he's seen over the last few weeks in New South Wales Cup that, geez, I've made a...
That's a bit...
Well, maybe he has. I don't know, mate. Okay. I'm not all that sweet at the Bulldogs.
Anyway, you know what?
Why not? Why not?
The drone, you know that. And they tell me you want to bring a drone into the studio.
I don't think we're sweet with the Bulldogs, any of us, after this.
Let's hope he goes well. Let's hope he goes well and has a good game.
That's the main thing.
Let's hope he does really well.
Really, I'm with you, mate.
Yeah.
Like, honestly,
We've all hoped that.
we all hope he kills it. Like, this is not... And Kenny, you said it last night, this is by no means a
Yeah, I
bash
know,
up over... Flano, I mean, I've been talking to him over the past 6 months because I feel for him and I want him to do well, and I think he deserves his shot. I really do. So I hope he makes the most of it. Well,